There is still so much that we don't know about genes and the effects that they can have on all aspects of a person's life. The genetic research that has been conducted does not fully explain genes or their effect on development, their effect on psychology, and we don't fully understand the impact of environment on genes, this nature versus nurture argument that we see so often. As Shannon previously discussed, this research is already happening in animals. But according to the news outlet Quartz, CRISPR is starting tests on damaged human embryos in foreign countries. So, as we move in the direction of gene editing in humans, it begs the question, is it really safe to start editing genes? Feasibly, this technology could be used to eradicate or add specific genes to an unborn child and make a designer baby. This may not seem so bad at first glance. I mean, you can choose if you want a boy or girl, maybe even fix potential genetic disorders or other things that could potentially make the child's life better, per se. However, there are so many things that we still do not know about development. How do we know that these changes won't adversely affect the child physically, developmentally, or emotionally? As we consider how the same process could affect the greater population, we could potentially have a generation of parents who are making the so-called perfect child. And I can't help but bring to mind the horror of the last attempt at making perfect people, a perfect race, bringing about genocide and the horror of World War II. We have to consider, too, what the proper regulations would be for this technology. Because without regulations, and really even with regulations, as there's always illegal activity, there is a danger with this kind of technology. If it gets into the wrong hands, maybe it's an illegal source or even, unfortunately, an unethical medical professional, this kind of technology could be used to manipulate people's bodies in unsafe ways. And it is not unreasonable to think that maybe this would be against their will. In this way, technology like CRISPR could be used to carry out acts of terrorism by editing individuals in maliciously damaging ways. While this line of thinking may sound kind of like a conspiracy theory, I do think it's important to think about the worst case scenario. It is impossible to know every implication that can come from opening this door to gene editing, but it is ethically vital to try to foresee the potential malicious ways that this technology could be used before flinging that door wide open.